Next fixtures due. The 5th of September 2017 Abbey Hay FA Cup home 7:45 p.m. Saturday the 9th of September 2017 Formby home 3 p.m. Sunday the 3rd of September 2017 Prescott Cables home, Flixton 2:30 p.m. Sunday the 3rd of September 2017 Liverpool Marshals Feds Reserves home 2 p.m. alty headlines the 3rd of September 2017 Shambolic says Phil Parkinson more the 3rd of September 2017 Abbey Hay 33 Altrincham more the 3rd of September 2017 Reserves result more other headlines the 3rd of September 2017 League fixtures more the 2nd of September 2017 FA Cup 1 QR results more the 3rd of September 2017 Shambolic says Phil Parkinson manager Phil Parkinson did not hold back as he reflected on Altrincham's 33 FA Cup draw at Abbey Hay in a post-match interview with press and media officer John Edwards. Angered at the way his players surrendered a 31st half lead, the alty boss demanded a marked improvement in Tuesday night's replay at the J. Davidson Stadium and revealed he plans to strengthen his injured-depleted squad in the next few days. Here is the interview in full. How did we allow that to happen after being in such complete control? It was shambolic, and I've told them in there it is completely unacceptable. From about the half-hour mark onwards, I thought Abbey Hay were the better team. It sticks in my throat saying that, but they just worked that much harder. I have told the lads it is completely unacceptable, and it has opened my eyes to one or two of them, with regards to how they performed today. It won't be accepted here. There is no way in this world we should be going 3 up and then allowing the other team to come back at us, particularly considering the difference in league status. In the same breath, it is the FA Cup, and these things happen. As disappointed, frustrated and angry as I am, maybe we have to accept that's football, and people love football because these results have a habit of happening. You just don't want to be the ones on the receiving end, so it is essential now we come flying out of the traps on Tuesday and are absolutely at it. We were playing some great stuff, to be fair, up to and just after our 3rd goal going in, so it must have come as a shock, presumably, that the whole pattern of the game could change so abruptly. Listen, you can't keep legislating for one ball into the box and someone scoring off it. It's so frustrating. The 2nd goal is preventable as well, and then suddenly you are up against it, and they could even have nicked it at the end. It is not acceptable for an Altrincham team, and we will take any flack that comes our way. The lads are fully aware they must improve in certain areas. We pointed out to them what they need to do better, but fundamentally it is individual errors that have cost us goals. There was a lack of quality as well, because even though we have scored 3 goals, we could have had more. I'm not saying we should be coming here and winning 5, 6 or 7, but if we had finished off more of the chances we created, it would have taken the pressure off. Really, though, it wasn't down to that. We scored enough to have won the game, but we need to defend better than that. There wasn't any great pressure, apart from a brief spell at the end, but when it was on us earlier, we didn't deal with it very well. Much as I praised them the other day, and talked about some of the young lads at the back, they got found out a little bit today. They need to grow up very quickly if they want to play in this team, because I won't be accepting performances like that moving forward. How can the switch be flicked so easily to go from bossing the game completely to being pegged back and ultimately hanging on for a draw? The goals gave them a lift, and we didn't react well at all to conceding. We were still in complete control when the first one went in, then the second came out of nothing, and suddenly there's only one in. But we should still be able to see that game out, and it is extremely frustrating. I feel for everyone who has come to support us today, because they haven't come to see that. They expect better from us. We will put it down to a bad day at the office, but I won't be allowing that luxury again for too many of them. I will be looking to reinforce the squad, because injuries are affecting us a little bit, as you saw today, with key players going off. They are mostly niggly injuries, but they are all coming at once, so I'm going to have to strengthen. I can't keep waiting, so people will be coming in at some point over the next week or so. Not masses, but the odd one or two to give us more strength in certain positions, because as well as lads have done shuffling into certain positions, that's maybe where we're getting found out a little bit. Maybe I need to react to that. In fact, there's no maybe about it, I will. Q. Is there scope for bringing more players in? Yes, of course there is. People keep questioning about whether players are on contracts or a non-contract, but I will be looking to do something. Unfortunately, when people come in, it doesn't mean others have to leave, but it does affect other things. People will come in, and we will strengthen, because I'm not accepting what I saw today. Q. It's the life of a goalkeeper, I suppose, that any mistake is highlighted, but Tony Thompson left has presumably held his hand up over the second goal. Yes. I mean, you could say that about any of them today, really. It's easy to point to Tony, because he makes one mistake and makes a bad decision, has a bad touch, and it ends up in the back of the net, but pretty much all of them today had bad touches. A didn't do as well as they should have, but they had the luxury of his teammate rescuing it for them. Tony knows he needs to do better, but so do 10, 11, 12, 13 others who played today. It's a big feather in Abby Hayes' cap, and full credit to them, because they absolutely worked the socks off to get something from the game. It should have been dead and buried, but we gave them a lifeline before halftime, and they grabbed it. Q. How galling was it to be hauled back to level terms by a penalty, considering we were denied at least one at the other end that looked clear-cut. I feel like a broken record, answering questions about the officiating. Nothing will get done about it, so we've just got to get on with it. It's the level of football we are at, and it is extremely annoying. It certainly looked a pen for the equalizer, so there are no arguments from me on that one, but I thought Tom Pearce should have had one as well when he was taken down from behind. All we can do now is move forward and make sure we finish the job at his second attempt. I know this group of players. When they had a setback at the start of the season, they showed they have the character to respond in the right way, and I will be expecting the same again. At least we didn't fold when we were below par in the second half, but let's be fair, we are saying that against a Northwest Counties team, and without being disrespectful to Abby Hay, we should be doing a lot better against them. Even so, full credit to them. I thought they were outstanding today. QA manager always demands a reaction after a performance like that, but that goes double for you, I imagine, after the way we surrendered such a position of strength. Yes, without a doubt. The biggest thing now is making sure we have a fully fit squad to make the impact required. We also need to show more composure, because we should have scored more than 3, while defensively, as a team not just individuals, we need to be a lot stronger mentally and physically. It was too easy at times for lads to get the wrong side and just shove one or two of our players off. It hurts me that we only drew, but there is no panic. I do believe in this group, but I'm going to strengthen because I feel we are just a little bit weak in one or two areas due to injuries. Q. Finally, can you give us an injury update on those who picked up knocks today and those still on the way back? They are all niggly little injuries, so it's hard to say. I would like to think the majority of them will be all right for Tuesday. I haven't had the chance to speak properly with James Poole yet, but he came off because he felt a slight hamstring twinge. It's nothing major, but he just felt it a little bit, and you have to be so careful with things like that. Ben Harrison was the same, the hamstring hasn't gone, but he just felt it. Ben. The challenge on Lawrence Taylor right didn't look good, but we need to assess him properly to get a clearer idea of how he is. John Disney has had a scan, and we need to see how that went. Simon Richmond may hopefully be only a week away, but it could be 2, because it was a sprain, and you need the swelling to go down to see where he is up to, in terms of how much pressure he can put on the ankle. When major players have to come off, regardless of the level you are playing at, it is bound to affect you. Coming into the game, I gave Abby Hay all the respect they were due by putting out a full-strength team, given what was available to me, so it wasn't a case of me at the players taking it lightly. We just didn't perform to the level we needed to. Injuries to play a part in that, but there is no way we are going to use that as an excuse. It just wasn't good enough, and it has to be better next time. Abby Hay 3 Altrincham 3 above alty lineup. A second half free kick. After 23 minutes Altrincham were leading 30 and in almost complete control of the match, but by the end of the afternoon they were grateful for an Abby Hay miss, which would have dumped them out of the Emirates FA Cup at the first hurdle. And, to compound Alty's misfortunes, their already depleted squad lost another 3 players to injury. James Poole and Ben Harrison had to be subbed in the first half and, more seriously, Lawrence Taylor was stretchered off in the closing stages. Match report here: the teams will replay on Tuesday night at the J. Davidson Stadium 7:45 p.m, which now replaces the league fixture against Lancaster City scheduled for that night. The official EvoStick site last night gave the gate at Abbey Hay v Altrincham as 381, whilst the Hallmark Security League quoted 371 reserves result. Altrincham reserves went down to a 4th successive defeat with a 30 reverse on Saturday away to Rudheath Social. Next Saturday, 9th, they are at home to Helsby. FA Cup Farsley Celtic report that an injury-time goal from Theo Bailey-Jones put Stalybridge Celtic through to the FA Cup second qualifying round at the expense of Farsley Celtic, as Stalybridge ran out 21 winners. Heading into the game bottom of the EvoStick Premier Division, Stalybridge earned a morally boosting win whilst Farsley slumped to back-to-back defeats. Earlier new signing Liam Dickinson had given Stalybridge the lead before Farsley captain James Walshaw equalised just moments later with a superb finish. Former alty striker Danny Mitchley was sent off for 2 cautions playing for Marine against Ashton United in an FA Cup tie on Saturday. Marine lost 13 at home. League fixtures: the following midweek fixtures are all subject to teams not being involved in FA Cup replays. Monday, the 4th of September 2017, Shore Lane v Rushall Olympics, Stourbridge v Hensford Town. Tuesday, the 5th of September 2017, Altrincham v Lancaster City, postponed due to Altus FA Cup replay v Abbey Hay. Colville Town v Matlock Town. Farsley Celtic v Stalybridge Celtic. Hayleys Owen Town v Stafford Rangers. Mickleover Sports v Grantham Town. Nantwich Town v Buxton. Sutton Coldfield Town v Barwell. Whitby Town v Ashton United. Whitton Albion v Marine. Workington v Warrington Town. INTEGRO League Cup. The following Integro League Cup preliminary round matches, on Tuesday the 2nd of September, are subject to teams not being involved in FA Cup replays. Chase Down v Market Drayton Town. Colne vs Clitheroe. Scarborough Athletic v Sheffield FC. The 2nd of September 2017 FA Cup first qualifying round. Right James Jones is pictured at Abbey Hay. Below are selected Northern and Midlands fixtures only. Friday, the 2nd of September 2017, City of Liverpool 12 Nantwich Town. Saturday, the 2nd of September 2017, Abbey Hay 33 Altrincham at 371 NWCFL website, a 381 NPL website. Albion Sports 32 Barlick Town. Ashton Athletic 21 Bamber Bridge Boldmere Street. Michaels 03 Chase and Boston Town 20 Hensford Town. Buxton 32 Frickley Athletic at 242 Cleethorpes Town 12 Atherton Collieries. Colne 01 Lancaster City at 301 Droylsden 43 Colwyn Bay. Grantham Town 21 Holbeach United. Hales Owen Town 03 Basford United at 359 Hormond 32 Matlock Town at 236 Hyde United 10 Kendal Town. Kidsgrove Athletic 32 Clitheroe. Lincoln United v Redditch United. Loughborough Dynamo 13 Stourbridge at 262 Marine 13 Ashton United at 324 Market Drayton Town 15 Alvechurch at Nantwich Town. Mickleover Sports 21 Hinkley Mossley 22 1874 Northwich Ossett Town 21 Concert Penistone Church 32 Whitby Town at 496 Peterborough Sports 34 Stafford Rangers at 284 Rushall Olympic 10 Potton United Street. Ives Town 10 Colville Town at 203 Scarborough Athletic v Workington. Shore Lane 31 Radcliffe Borough. Shepshed Dynamo 61 Leek Town. Skelmersdale United 12 Handsworth Paramore. Stalybridge Celtic 21 Farsley Celtic. Stratford Town 40 Newcastle Town. Sutton Coldfield Town 02 Barwell. Warrington Town 10 Grimsby Borough at 297 Whitton Albion 02 South Shields at 534 Abbey Hay v Altrincham. Live coverage: you can follow this fixture via this website's minute-by-minute text updates by clicking on the icon below. Alternatively, Radio Robins coverage of the game is outlined below as well. Brian Flynn announces that Radio Robins, sponsored by Ashley Mower's Garden Machinery, is providing full live commentary. The commentators are Mark Simpson and Paul Salt, and the match summarizer is Dave Stringer. Coverage starts at 2:40 p.m. Phil's update. Talking to Brian Flynn for Altrincham today, manager Phil Parkinson said that 2 victories over the August bank holiday weekend meant that we finished the opening month of the season on a high with 3 straight league wins. I have always been very confident in the players, even after the disappointment of gaining just a single point from our opening 3 league games. Building a team takes time, but I have been delighted with the way the team have set about getting us up the league table, and we are now just 3 points behind the early leaders, Warrington Town, going into September. Monday's win at Whitton, who were unbeaten to that point, was a marvellous display. The quality of our play in the first half and 2 wonderful strikes from outside the area from James Poole and Josh Hancock were the obvious highlights, but the performance in the second half, whilst not as eye-catching from an entertainment point of view, was just as pleasing to Neil Sorville and me, as the lads defended as if their lives depended on getting a clean sheet, which was richly deserved for a thoroughly professional display. Tomorrow, we enter the Emirates FA Cup with a first qualifying round tie at Abbey Hay, who finally saw off Main Road on Monday night, after the original replay had been abandoned in extra time due to a bad neck injury to one of the players, who thankfully is well on the way to a full recovery. Incredibly, we had to replace 4 players playing at full-back during the 2 bank holiday games against Colville Town and Whitton Albion, as Lewis Short, John Disney, Simon Richmond and Sean Densmore all came off injured. John Disney's ankle injury is the most concerning. He is due to have a scan early next week, so we should know more then. Lewis Short tight hamstring, Simon Richmond ankle sprain and Sean Densmore knee must all be rated as doubtful for Saturday, and with 7 substitutes in the FA Cup, I will be calling on a couple of the reserves, who I watched against Congleton Vale on Tuesday night. Max Harrop scored twice in that game and he is set to take some part tomorrow as well. Sean Miller will start full training next week, and Josh Amos is recovering well from his appendicitis, so hopefully we will have greater strength in numbers to call on for what will be a big month, with 9 games scheduled, starting tomorrow. Abbey Hay play in the Hallmark Security League Premier Division and have also won at Earlham, as well as eventually overcoming Main Road to reach this stage. It's a massive game for them and we will need to be at it to progress to Monday's draw. Abbey Hay v Altrincham. Before the game, prize money of £3,000 goes to the winners of first qualifying round matches in the FA Cup. Altrincham have never met Abbey Hay in a competitive game before today, despite the 2 clubs' proximity to each other and both being more than 100 years old. Abbey Hay were founded in 1902. However, no fewer than 12 pre-season friendlies have been played between the clubs since 2000, all at Gordale Avenue. Of these, Altrincham have won 10 and drawn 2. The most recent match, in 2015, ended goalless. In the 6 league and cup matches this season, Abbey Hay have won all 3 away fixtures but have yet to win at home. They lie 20th in the 23-team Hallmark Security League NW Counties Premier Division. In addition to former alty physio Alan Ainsley, who performs that role for Abbey Hay, other links between the clubs include Sam Freaks, an ex-cum player who was an alty pre-season trialist in 2013. 2 other Abbey Hay players, the twins Fabrice Bemboletta and D. Jenny Bembo, are elder siblings of Joel Bemboletta, who was an alty trialist this summer. The Hallmark Security League adds that of all non-league teams playing in the FA Cup, none strike fear into Football League sides as much as Altrincham. They hold the record, knocking out more Football League sides than any other club in history, with 17 giant killings. However, they are the giants in this encounter. They are entering the FA Cup at the first qualifying round for the first time, see below, so there is no real history in the competition to go off. In the league, they currently sit in 10th place, having won 3 of the 6 games. They have won the last 3 games. Josh Hancock has scored in all of those wins, and one weird stat is that of their 8 goals scored this season, 7 have been scored by a player whose name starts with the letter J. James Poole is another to look out for, as he has scored in the last 2 games also. As for Abbey Hay, they have had a weird campaign so far. In the FA Cup, they are great, winning at Earlham in the extra preliminary round before beating Main Road after both a replay and an abandoned game. In the league, they have lost to Runcorn Linnets and Widnes at home, both without scoring, but a 20 win at Northwich Victoria on Saturday not only gave them a clean sheet, but also meant that they come into this game 3 games unbeaten themselves. Rhys Webb is leading scorer for Abbey Hay, including the winner on Monday in the win over Main Road. Abbey Hay have been the last remaining Hallmark Security League side in the FA Cup in 2 of the last 5 years, having reached the second qualifying round on both occasions. That is the best that they have managed in 16 previous campaigns. As for alty, what do we say, the best is the 4th round proper, which came about in 198,586 when they won away at top-flight club Birmingham City 21. They have even earned replays against Tottenham Hotspur and Everton in the past. Even struggling in recent years as they have still done great in the FA Cup, reaching the first round proper in 4 of the last 5 FA Cup campaigns. However, FA Cup Fact File corrects Alty's FA Cup record by stating that Altrincham hasn't gone out of the FA Cup as early as the first qualifying round for 57 years, although it is 14 years since the club last entered the FA Cup this early. Ladies FA Cup debut on Sunday, 3rd, Altrincham FC. Ladies 201,718 season kicks off. Rather than the originally scheduled league match against Liverpool Marshalsfeds, Alty ladies will now be travelling to Broadhurst Park for the debut match in the SSE Women's FA Cup against FC United of Manchester ladies at 2 p.m. Alty manager Keith Edelston says this is our first ever entry into this prestigious competition since we started up as a club and we are all looking forward to it. He added, "If you can make it over there to cheer the girls on, that would be fantastic." Old Boys Atherton Collieries have signed former Salford City captain Chris Lynch. The experienced defender arrives from Altrincham. Salford back Atherton boss Phil Power brought Lynch to Moor Lane in June 2014 and immediately installed him as captain. Manager Michael Clegg has been working hard behind the scenes to sign Lynch, and as he explains, it's a great addition to the squad. "Chris is a massive signing for us. He is a lad with loads of experience, a true leader and someone who can really help us adapt to life in the Evo stick," he explained. "I go back a long way with Lynchy and he is the fiercest competitor there is. There was a lot of competition for his signature, but he is coming to the stage in his career where he can't really commit to loads of travelling but still wants to be in a side that's wanting to achieve things. He lives 2 miles from the ground, so this move suits both us and himself. I think it shows that this year we are looking to compete and enjoy ourselves, and we are definitely doing that." Elsewhere, on Thursday evening the 31st of August, Barwell Football Club confirmed the signings of experienced striker Carl Perry and young defender Elliot Percival. Perry, a 31-year-old striker, has played for a whole host of clubs, most notably AFC Telford United, Mansfield Town, Tamworth and Altrincham. He joins Barwell after spending last season at Stafford Rangers. Perry is a big number 9 who will certainly bolster Jimmy Ginelly's options in the attacking third. He is joined at Kirby Road by 19-year-old fullback Elliot Percival. The Leicester-born youngster came through the ranks at Leicester City, before signing for Sheffield Wednesday on a 1-year professional contract and then deciding to make the step into men's football by signing for Barwell. The Birmingham Mail reports that former Alty loanee Ryan Shotton's move from Birmingham City to Middlesbrough has brought to an end one of the transfer sagas of the summer. Middlesbrough first made their interest known in Shotton in July and lodged a bid of over £1 million that was knocked back by Blues, who have commanded double that fee for the 28-year-old central defender. Shotton hadn't agitated for a move away from St Andrews and returned to pre-season training at the beginning of July, optimistic about what Blues might achieve following the tests of the previous campaign. Shotton had joined Blues permanently from Derby County for around £300,000 last summer and become a mainstay in the side under Gary Rowett, Gianfranco Zola and Harry Redknapp. Having started 43 of Blues' 46 championship games, Shotton had hoped his performances would be recognised with a new contract, but the wasn't forthcoming. There was interest from Bristol City in Shotton in June, but the defender had no desire to trade the second city for the West Country and rebuffed their advances. But Middlesbrough's bid captured his attention, particularly when Redknapp told him he would be allowed to leave if Borough improved their initial offer to meet Blues' valuation. Shotton understood the club's reasons for not allowing him to leave once the bid was accepted in mid-August and waited for Blues to find a replacement. In the meantime, Shotton and his representatives agreed personal terms on a lucrative 3-year contract at the Riverside. Towards the end of his time at St Andrews, the defender understandably became frustrated. He was keen to play in matches against Burton Albion and Reading and was disappointed to be left out, disappointment that only increased as he watched his teammates stutter to 2 defeats. Both Blues and Shotton wanted the deal to be done sooner and the outcome suits both parties. Blues have made a whopping profit on their outlay to sign Shotton from Derby, and the player gets the opportunity to test himself under Gary Monk at one of the Championship's promotion favourites. Rarely are a club happy to lose a player to one of the rivals, but Blues are quite content with how this one has played out. The Hallmark Security League new registrations include at Charnock Richard, Andrew Dorberin at Sandbach United, Clayton MacDonald, who recently played against us for Nantwich Town. Evo Stick Premier News at Stourbridge. The club is delighted to announce that winger Matt Dodd has resigned for Stourbridge after a brief spell with Hensford Town. Matt moved to Hensford in the summer after spending the previous 2 seasons with the Glass Boys. He made a total of 85 appearances for the club, scoring 9 goals. Matt made just 6 appearances for Hensford in his stint at Keys Park, scoring twice. Manager Gary Hackett told us, "I'm absolutely delighted to have Matt back, and HES delighted to be back himself. He gives us something extra that we've perhaps been lacking so far this season." Although Matt is not cup-tied, his signing was not completed in time to be eligible for Saturday's Emirates FA Cup tie at Loughborough Dynamo. We are also pleased to announce the signings of wide man Pierce Kayembe and midfielder Alex Solomon. Pierce, who had a run out for us in pre-season 2 seasons ago, has most recently been with Chase Town and Numbers Bedworth United, Worcester City, Daventry Town and Bayer Leverkusen amongst his former clubs. He can play on either flank. Alex can play in any position across midfield and appeared in a number of pre-season friendlies for the Glass Boys, where he impressed with his work rate. Both players will provide additional depth for the squad, with the current injuries to Kai Eldon Brown, Connor Gator and Chris Knight restricting Gary's options. Whitton Albion announced that they are inaugural winners of the Evo Stick League's newly sponsored FWP Architecture Fair Play Awards. Whitton Albion in the top flight, Colwyn Bay in Evo Stick League North, and 4 clubs in Evo Stick League South with identical records, Cleethorpes Town, Corby Town, Gresley and Lincoln United, were unveiled at lunchtime on Friday as the best behaved clubs over the opening weeks of the season in August. Thanks to the sponsorship of the Frank Whittle Partnership FWP, the clubs are now in the running for a share of more than £5,000 in prize money. The Evo Stick League now hands out annually to the season's best behaved sides to promote sportsmanship and fair play and back the Football Association's Respect campaign. As in previous years, the overall winners in each division will collect £1,000, with the runners-up banking £500 and the third-placed clubs £250 each. The best behaved club across the Evo Stick League's 3 divisions will also be presented with the Peter Swales President's Cup by FWP at next June's annual awards night in Blackpool. Preston-based FWP stepped up the support for the Evo Stick League for the 201,718 season to build on the 10 years of work as existing sponsors and partners. As well as backing the Evo Stick League's fair play mission on the pitch, the sponsors are set to roll out a series of initiatives offered for all 68 clubs. Focusing on stadium development, they are set to include an online survey of the needs of clubs and regular updates on the latest industry news and schemes. Members will also get the chance to meet with FWP's experts throughout the campaign at regional meetings and other events led by the next annual showcase at Blackpool's Hilton Hotel in June 2018. Depending on the results of the upcoming survey, FWP are also considering laying on specialist seminars on stadium development for club officials. August's winners topped the fair tables, which are generated by a totting up of red and yellow cards divided by the number of fixtures clubs have played each month. Clubs must play at least 4 league games to be eligible for the monthly honours and were tied on points. Marks awarded by referees for behaviour in the technical area by managers and coaches are taken into account. Whitton Albion needed the technical area marks to beat Farsley Celtic to first place in the Evo Stick League Premier after the rivals both posted disciplinary scores of 0.83 for the 5 cautions in 6 outings since the season kicked off. With records of 6 cautions from 6 outings, Colville Towns, Lancaster City, Stourbridge and Whitby Town are level pegging in 3rd spot. Altrincham actually had the lowest number of yellow cards in the opening 6 matches, with just 4 cautions, 3 of them being shown to Simon Richmond, but Tom Hannigan's red card counted as 3 points, giving Alty a total of 7 compared with Whitton's 6. According to the Burton Mail, Burton Albion's Jayden Cottrell has joined Matlock Town on a 1-month youth loan. Under the terms of a youth loan, a player is permitted to train with his parent club, but turn out on match days for his loan club, in Cottrell's case Matlock. Cottrell, who signed his first professional contract with the Brewers in May along with fellow academy graduate Jack Hallahan in May earlier this year, featured throughout pre-season campaign for Nigel Clough's men. The youngster now makes his first steps into senior football with Matlock Town, and will be hoping to hit the same heights that Dinanga did last term when he notched 34 goals. Cottrell impressed when Albion played Matlock at Causeway Lane in pre-season, slotting in at right back in the 22 draw with the Gladiators. The 1st of September 2017 FA Cup on Radio Manchester. In its non-league show, Radio Manchester has a piece on Saturday's FA Cup ties which includes a representative from our opponents, Abbey Hay. The programme starts at 7 p.m. on 95.1 FM. No rest for the players. The NI paper reports that part of the reason Phil Parkinson-Wright and his management team came to Altrincham was to again make the club's name in the FA Cup, but his first job is to stop that happening for the wrong reasons. The Robins are a non-league heavyweight in the famous competition, and after holding Everton and Tottenham to draws in the 70s, they famously went one better and beat Birmingham City in 1986. But FA Cup joy, and league cheer for that matter, have been in short supply in recent years. Parkinson hopes this could be the season, but first they must ensure they are not the story of the first qualifying round this weekend. The club travel to Abbey Hay, and after they beat Main Road 21 on Monday, there's hope ahead of North West Counties League side's biggest game in years. Parkinson doesn't want to be reading about a massive upset when he picks up his paper on Sunday morning. He said, "There were a few reasons that we came to Altrincham in the summer, and one of them was the challenge of doing something special in the FA Cup. The 70s and the 80s were great years for the club, and people still talk about how incredible those cup runs were. I would like to create our own little bit of history, if it's this season and next. That would be fantastic." Parkinson, who agreed to take over after leaving Nantwich Town in May, will give Abbey Hay and the competition every ounce of respect on Saturday. He said, "There is absolutely no way we'll be resting players. It's too big a thing for us to even consider giving anyone an afternoon off. We'll only be making enforced changes. The last thing we want is to be on the wrong end of a cup upset. There's just too much riding on it to take any chances." James Poole interview. Brian Flynn's interview with James Poole right following last Monday's game is here. EvoStick Premier News. The EvoStick League reports that Stalybridge Celtic are inviting servicemen and women to watch them in league action for free until the end of the season. The club have teamed up with Tickets for Troops to provide 10 tickets per league game for former and serving members of the Army, RAF and Royal Navy. Tickets for Troops provides free tickets to members of the armed forces for a variety of sporting, musical and cultural events, offering serving personnel and those medically discharged from the forces since 2001 the opportunity to enjoy an event of their choice with friends and families. In a statement announcing the initiative ahead of the next home game in the league against Stourbridge on Saturday the 9th of September, officials at Bowerfold said the free tickets must be booked through www.ticketsfortroops.org.uk with a requirement for fans to register the military details. Stalybridge Celtic Community Development Officer Mike Smith said, "It's great that we can make these tickets available for members of our armed services who work so hard to keep us all safe. We look forward to seeing some of them throughout the season and hope they all enjoy the visit to Bowerfold." Tickets for Troops spokesman Robert Lupton said, "Firstly, many thanks for the kind offer of tickets for our servicemen and women. The EvoStick League looks to be a very exciting league this season. The Northwest has a large percentage of current and ex-service personnel, and we hope that Stalybridge Celtic FC can benefit from this kind gesture within the local community." The 31st of August 2017 feels pride in the job. Altrincham manager Phil Parkinson was interviewed by press and media officer John Edwards after the 20 bank holiday Monday win at Whitland Albion. Here is the interview in full. Q. That looked a real statement of intent by the players, a true indication of the capabilities. I said when we lost to Stafford on the opening day, and even after Matlock, I would not panic. I believe in this group of players. We are not going to beat every team in this league by stupid scorelines, because it is a competitive league. But I would like to think the lads in our team are capable of winning games. The other side of it, that was so evident in the second half, as we set out to make sure we finished with a clean sheet. One of the most important things for me today was that when we went 20 up, without being in any way negative, I wanted to make sure people understood my teams can keep clean sheets. That's 2 now, and we are made up with that, and we are only going to get stronger and better in that department. Look at young James Jones, pictured left, who is only 20, Lawrence Taylor 20, Tony Thompson in his early 20s. It is quite a youthful back four, one that's learning all the time, and they've got experience alongside them, in the shape of Ben Harrison, Ringo Simon Richmond and Sean Densmore, who have all been there and seen it and are only going to get the best out of the younger lads. Q. The game couldn't have gone much better, could it, other than injuries to Dens and Ringo? That's right. It just seems to be the curse of the fullbacks at the moment, the way injuries are going. They're the ones getting all the little niggles, but that's the strength we have, the way we've been able to shuffle things around. You would be able to tell Lawrence isn't a fullback. Tom Hannigan is normally in the centre, Ringo is filling in, and Dens has played virtually all his career on the right, rather than the left. That's great credit to them. That's what we're going to have to do, because I believe in keeping a tight group of players. I want to try and look after them, because I believe loyalty breeds loyalty, but I did say to them that if they don't recover in a timely fashion, I might have to bring people in. It's too early to gauge the extent of today's injuries, so soon afterwards, so we'll see how that goes. I wasn't particularly happy with the challenges that caused the injuries today, but I was also unhappy with the officiating in general. It was a little bit soft with regard to the way any minimal contact my players made with an opponent resulted in a free kick. They were young officials, clearly still learning, but unfortunately it can cost you. Q. The 2 goals, by James Poole and Josh Hancock, were Goal of the Month contenders, weren't they? They were, and it was good to see them going in the other end, because we've had a few spectacular efforts going in against us recently. It was minimum backlift with James, and he looked so nonchalant, the way he hit it. Josh's was an absolute rifle, and he is very capable of doing that. I said when we signed him, he scores in patches, and that is 3 in 3 now, so he is bang in form on the goal front. He looked a real threat all game, and I thought he ran Jake Moultright very close for man of the match. I just thought Jake was outstanding, an absolute true leader, which is a big reason why I wanted to keep him here, because he is Altrincham through and through. You can see that in his performances. He's busting a gut to do well for this club, and I think anyone coming to watch this game, or any game since I arrived, will have seen that. Q. Were you hoping for that sort of response when you made him captain? Wasn't hoping. I knew that's what I would get from him. I spoke to him heavily before I got the job, and I could tell the feeling he had for the place. That was one of the big things that sold it to me, in terms of what he was saying about the place and how he thinks it's the best club in non-league. That's coming from someone who has played at the pinnacle of non-league in the Conference National. He knows what it's all about, and that is exactly what I have seen over the last few games with the level of support we've had from fans who have been right behind us. It's so important now we keep doing what we've been doing. Q. On that first goal, it was almost as if James' left was slightly off balance, and, as you say, there was virtually no backlift, yet it flew into the top corner. The lad is a magician. Some of the things he does on the pitch are absolutely spectacular, things you think he has no right to do. That's why I went all out to get him to the club, because he is the type of player you want to watch, and I can see him turning into a cult hero with alty fans. He's probably on his way to that already. I think he looks fitter than he has for a long time, because I'm asking him to work, as well as do the things that make him stand out. He is putting a shift in. I know he may sometimes pull a face at me, but he knows it's for the good of the team, so he does it. He does it because he wants the best for this team. He is a team player. A lot of times, when you have a player of James' ability, they don't run round as hard as he does, but HE's got that about him, as well as incredible natural talent. HE's like a poet on a football field, and it's a pleasure to watch him and a pleasure to manage him. You probably expected a reaction from Witten in the second half, after we went 20 up, but we defended so well that Tony Thompson didn't have a serious save to make. Did you know he didn't? And I feel it has been that way so far this season. I can't remember my keepers having to work too hard, except for picking the ball out of the net now and again, which is extremely frustrating. That's why we were intent on getting that clean sheet today. We maybe sacrificed a bit of our possession play in the second half, because we were very dogged and wanted to win second balls. Witten direct, and I wanted to see if we could rough it out with them. They were unbeaten going into the game, so it showed we can come to places like this and not only get a positive result but look comfortable with it. I don't think we ever looked under threat, so overall I was really happy with the performance. Do you feel a bit of momentum is building now? Yes, winning is a habit. It breeds winning when you've won 3 on the bounce, and everyone is buzzing. The lads really believe in what we have been telling them, and what we have been doing. They knew from the pre-season that it worked, and the big thing for me is they never lost faith when the opening result didn't go our way. It's still very early, but it's positive to see we can put back-to-back wins together. We need to build some momentum now and keep doing that throughout the season. What about the scenes at the end? Really enthusiastic applause going both ways between players and supporters. Yeah, that was great to see. I said it at the last game, it's a pleasure and honor to manage this club. I can't believe I'm actually standing here saying I'm Altrincham manager. It is something I have worked really hard for, and I just take great pride in being entrusted with guiding the playing fortunes of this club. Just seeing and hearing the fans get behind me fills me with even more pride and with a desire to go out and win as many games as I can for Altrincham Football Club to hopefully turn our fortunes around. Next games above, Moss Lane looked resplendent in the evening sunshine on Wednesday. The next action for Altrincham teams is indicated below. Saturday the 2nd of September, 2017 Abbey Hay FA Cup away 3 p.m. Saturday the 2nd of September. 2017 Rudheath Social away 3 p.m. Sunday the 3rd of September. 2017 Prescott Cables home, Flixton 2:30 p.m. Sunday the 3rd of September. 2017 Liverpool Marshals Feds Reserves home 2 p.m. Supporters Transport TASC's Mark Eckersall confirmed recently that due to its close proximity TASC will not be running transport to our FA Cup opponents on Saturday the 2nd of September, Abbey Hay 13 miles away. This is because it is uneconomic to do so and supporters can get there by other means. However, Mark adds that we will be running travel to Barwell on Saturday the 9th of September and will also be taking names for an interest list to see if we can get the numbers for Workington on Tuesday the 12th of September. These lists will be available during this week, so keep an eye on the website, and bookings will be available by phone at the club or at the Lancaster game on Tuesday the 5th of September. For those making the way to Abbey Hay, the club address is Gordale Avenue, Manchester M18 7HD. It is easily reached from Altrincham Chalet on the M60, which you leave at Denton Island, where you turn left and proceed for about a mile. The ground is signposted as a left turn off Hyde Road. Mike Garnett advises that the 201 bus from Piccadilly passes near the ground and runs every 10 minutes. The nearest railway station is Ryder Brow on the line from Piccadilly to Marple. Leading scorers. The EvoStick League list of leading scorers in our division is as follows. 6 Liam Hardy Buxton, 5 Jordan Archer Stourbridge, Daniel Westwood Stafford Rangers, Lee Shaw Grantham Town, James Walshaw Farsley Celtic INCL, 3 penalties, 4 Sean Harrod Matlock Town, 3 Joshua Hancock Altrincham, pictured right, Gurjit Singh Sutton Coldfield Town, Connor Hughes Warrington Town, Joshua Hine Warrington Town, Blair Anderson Colville Town, Sean Williams Warrington Town, all penalties. FA Cup Abbey Hay. Although Saturday's FA Cup tie at Abbey Hay will be Altrincham's first competitive game against the Gordon Club, we have met them 12 times in pre-season friendlies since 1999, with alty winning 10 times and drawing twice. The record is as follows. The 22nd of July 2000 Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 2 Scorer Richard Landon both goals. The 22nd of July 2000 Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 2 5 Scorers 19 minutes Rico Richards Abbey Hay 10 37 minutes Greg Duff Altrincham 11 40 minutes Anthony Snag Altrincham Penn 12:47 minutes Phil Power Altrincham 13:66 minutes Danny Frost Altrincham 14:82 minutes Leroy Chambers Altrincham 15 21st July 2001 Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 3 6 Scorers 14 minutes Stuart Cartwright Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 0 35 minutes Lee Poland Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 1 39 minutes Lee Poland Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 2 41 minutes Wayne Mackenzie Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 3 83 minutes Gerard Leonard Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 4 86 minutes Colin Hunter Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 5 89 minutes Simon McMahon Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 6 the 20th of July 2002 Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 1 Scorers 68 minutes Andy MacDonald Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 1 82 minutes Matt Jackson Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 1 the 23rd of July 2003 Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 2 4 Scorers 25 minutes Matty Hughes Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 1 30 minutes Matty Hughes Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 2 33 minutes Greg Brown Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 2 62 minutes Matty Hughes Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 383 minutes Peter Band Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 4 the 17th of July 2004 Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 4 8 Scorers 15 minutes Colin Little Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 1 28 minutes Kieran Lugsden Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 2 33 minutes Kieran Lugsden Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 3 35 minutes Colin Little Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 4 54 minutes Stuart Wright Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 5:67 minutes Peter Band Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 6:81 minutes Stuart Wright Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 7:90 minutes Peter Band Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 8 the 10th of August 2005 Abbey Hay 2 Altrincham Reserves 4 Altrincham Scorers Colin Potts 3 Gary Williams the 12th of July 2008 Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 5 5 Scorers 5 11 27 38 and 41 minutes Chris Senior Altrincham 30 minutes Danny Heffernan Abbey Hay the 11th of July 2009 Abbey Hay 2 Altrincham 2 6 Altrincham Scorers 6 minutes Colin Little 13 minutes Dale Johnson 49 minutes Eddie Stamford 64 minutes Steve Connor 73 minutes Paul McManus 76 minutes Paul McManus the 7th of July 2012 Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 2 4 Scorers 10 minutes Duncan Watmore Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 1 22 minutes Sean Densmore Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 2 63 minutes James Laurie Penalty Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 3 65 minutes James Laurie Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 4 5 July 2014 Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 3 6 Scorers 26 minutes Sean Williams Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 1 34 minutes Damian Reeves Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 2 39 minutes Damian Reeves Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 3 55 minutes Carl Perry Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 4 63 minutes Billy Sutcliffe Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 4:69 minutes Damian Reeves Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 5:77 minutes Damian Reeves Abbey Hay 1 Altrincham 6 the 7th of July 2015 Abbey Hay 0 Altrincham 0 the 30th of August 2017 Reserves HIGHSCORING game Altrincham Reserves were away to Congleton Vale on Tuesday night and lost a high-scoring game to the odd goal in 7. In a very good game, Alty went 20 down after 15 minutes before getting back to 22, thanks to 2 goals from Mux Harrop, one of which was a penalty. Congleton then went 32 up before Joel Swift scored a 30-yard screamer to level the match again. The referee then awarded a dubious free kick just outside the box shortly before the end, which was really well struck and clinched the game for the hosts. On Saturday, Altrincham Reserves are away again to Rudheath Social at Lostick Graylim. Club statement: we were extremely saddened and shocked to hear, after the game at Whitton Albion on Bank Holiday Monday, that a man standing near 2 Altrincham supporters had shouted racist abuse at a player. The club will not tolerate such unacceptable behavior and will endeavor to find out who the culprit is. Should we succeed in identifying him, he will be banned for life from all future Altrincham and Whitton games. We would like to thank our fans for pointing out the offender to the Whitton stewards, who ejected him from the ground in a very professional manner. If anybody should know the person responsible, please advise an official of the club to enable us to take the necessary action. We thank you for your assistance in this matter. Evo Stick fixture policy. When the 201,718 fixture list dealt Altrincham many Saturday 3 p.m. kickoffs against local teams such as Ashton United, Stalybridge Celtic and Warrington Town, but Tuesday 7:45 p.m. kickoffs at the two furthest opponents, Workington 294 miles return and Whitby 268 miles return. Many supporters were baffled. However, it now emerges that short-distance 3 p.m. matches and lengthy midweek journeys are actually the policy of the Evo Stick League. Writing in the Albion Review, Whitton Albion and Evo Stick League chairman Mark Harris confirms the league's views on assigning fixtures. Following Albion's own midweek game at Workington last week, Mark wrote that I was recently asked why long-distance fixtures are played midweek. The answer is simple: to play them at weekends would mean the more local derby fixtures being played midweek instead. For most, if not all clubs, it is the local games that generate the most income, so, coupled with the motorway traffic nightmares so often encountered at weekends, that's why it makes more sense to prioritize the local games. Of course, I'd rather take a trip like the one to Workington early in the season rather than on a freezing cold Tuesday in January. Evo Stick Premier News. The Whitby Gazette reports that Whitby Town have placed forward Mikey Roberts on the transfer list. A club statement said the striker has found opportunities limited with the club since the start of the season and will be allowed to move on by the club. Roberts is well known for his energetic displays up front and has vast experience around non-league football in the northeast, including spells with Guisborough Town and Spennymoor Town. Any interested parties must go through first-team manager Chris Hardy on 07837264188 and not Mikey Roberts himself. Also in Yorkshire, Farsley Celtic report that Bank Holiday Monday saw Farsley play the final league fixture of the opening month of the campaign as they travel to Sherian Park to take on Shore Lane AFC. Unfortunately, it saw Farsley succumb to a second-half goal from ex-Celt Damien Reeves to end their unbeaten start to the new season. The Celts boss gave his reaction to his squad's first taste of defeat 24 hours after the game, stating, "I'm disappointed that we've lost and I think it's harsh on the players who definitely deserved something out of the game. Having had chance to watch the game back, big decisions went against us and certainly cost us today. I felt at the time the challenge on Isaac in the second minute was a stoned wall penalty, and having seen it again, it's unbelievable that it wasn't awarded. All we want the officials to do is make the correct decision, and unfortunately in this instance he got it badly wrong. The opening goal in any game is so important and that would have presented us with an excellent opportunity to go ahead." Adam offered the following observation on the Shore Lane winner: "The decisive goal was well worked by them, and the one time we've been opened up, we've been punished, but the final touch by Damien Reeves is a yard offside and that is extremely frustrating. The initial shot from Aidan Chippendale may have been heading goal-bound, but the final touch was by Reeves, who is offside, and it should have stood." However, the Farsley manager was quick to praise the efforts of the team on the day, adding, "The reaction by the players after falling behind was fantastic and they pushed right until the end to get an equalizer, but we couldn't find that bit of quality in the final third. I'm not unhappy with the effort or application of the players. I felt yet again we were defensively solid and dealt well with the threat and physicality of Shore Lane. However, Shore Lane are a good team with strong, experienced players and will be difficult to beat, especially at home." Adam, though, put the loss into context, saying, "For us now it's a case of putting this result behind us, not getting too down and trying to win our next game, which is another challenging match, this time in the FA Cup against Stalybridge Celtic. We knew we were going to lose the odd game here and there, as most teams in the division already have, and we're only 6 games in, so yes, it's disappointing, but a result we will bounce back from, I'm sure." Of the same game, NI Yorkshire says, super sub Damien Reeves scored within seconds of coming on against his former club Farsley Celtic to lift Shore Lane up to third. Reeves, who was a vital member of the Farsley team that won promotion to the Conference National in 2007, capitalised on a defensive mistake to put the Ducks ahead in the 71st minute. Farsley threw the kitchen sink in the final few minutes. Shore Lane AFC Stuart Bembo Lita, Serrant, Kieran Lugsden, Galvin Lugsden, Qualter, Burn Chippendale 61, Harris, Clayton, Norris Reeves 70, Walker Abadaki 92. Subs not used: Lennion, Chilaka, Farsley, Celtic, McKibben, Porritt, DC 77, Baldwin, C. Atkinson, Pollard, Clayton, Priestley, Watson 77, B. Atkinson, Walshaw, Cartman, Walker, Marshall 77. Subs not used: Parkin, Trenery. Alty players are in bold in the above list. News of last Saturday's visitors comes from Colville Town, where the club have unfortunately been informed that coach Steve Walker has decided to take a break from football and leave his role as first-team coach. Due to work commitments and travel, Steve felt that he couldn't put the time and effort in that the club and role requires at this level of football. Steve has played a massive part in helping Colville reach the Evo Stick Northern Premier and has been an ever-present figure in the dugout since Tommy and Mark took over. The role will now be filled by current staff unless otherwise stated. Workington drew at Whitby on Monday, and from Workington we learned that both sides looked to pale shadow of the teams which did so well last season, but is that down to the demanding bank holiday weekend schedule or general drop in standards? It would be harsh to criticise either team for their efforts on a very warm afternoon, but from a Reds perspective this was another opportunity lost with 3 points there for the taking. The fact that they're not firing on all cylinders is a concern, with some players carrying injuries and others struggling to find consistent levels of form. For the fourth game in a row, they found the opposition goalkeeper enjoying his 90 minutes at our expense. Either there are some very good keepers out there, or Workington lack that killer instinct in front of goal. We have to go with the latter theory, of course, and address a problem which sees the team dominating but repeatedly failing to win. On the evidence of this encounter, it is easy to see why both Town and Reds are languishing in the lower half of the table instead of mapping out a promotion challenge. Confidence is at a low ebb in both camps, it would seem, illustrated perfectly by the game's first incident after just 10 minutes. Sam Smith's uncharacteristic rash challenge on Kieran Willett earned the home side a penalty, but a poor spot kick from the latter was easily smothered by Aaron Taylor. Town got the noses in front after 56 minutes when Willett took advantage of a moment's uncertainty in the Reds' defense. He collected the ball and drove it into the far corner of Taylor's net. Within 3 minutes, though, the Cambrians were back in the game when Matty Douglas became the fifth different scorer for Reds throughout August. Anthony Wright worked the ball out wide to Connor Tinian, and his low cross was met at the far post by Douglas, who gleefully headed home the equaliser. Reds should have gone on to win from the point, but there was never the conviction to suggest they would. Joint boss David Hewson was left to reflect on a frustrating weekend, saying, "We could easily have obtained 6 points over the 2 games, but have to show for our efforts." The 29th of August 2017, Whitton Albion 0-2 Altrincham. Above, Sam Sheridan, Ben Harrison, Tony Thompson and James Jones combined to keep Whitton at bay. Altrincham made it 3 successive wins after a particularly impressive first-half performance. Match report here. It's Abbey Hay in FA Cup. Abbey Hay defeated Main Road 21 at Brantingham Road in Monday night's FA Cup preliminary round replay. So Alty will travel to Gorton next Saturday for the first qualifying round. Abbey Hay's scorers were Robert Swallow 10 minutes and Rhys Webb 88, with Main Road's Matthew Morgan scoring a 90th-minute consolation goal. 189 spectators watched the match. Saturday's gates at 254. Ashton United won for Buxton. Greg Young scored for Buxton at 227. Colville Town 2-0. Micklover Sports at 372. Hales Owen Town 0-2. Sutton Coldfield Town at 354. Lancaster City 1-0. Staley Bridge Celtic at 444. Marino for Warrington Town. Sean Williams scored twice from the spot at 529. Matlock Town 2-3. Grantham Town at 352. Nantwich Town 2-2. Barwell Clayton MacDonald scored an own goal playing for the Dabbers at 522. Rushall Olympic 1-2. Stourbridge at 287. Shore Lane 1-0. Farsley Celtic. Damian Reeves netted the goal at 12:26. Stafford Rangers 0-1. Hensford Town at 288. Whitby Town 1-1. Workington at 754. Whitton Albion 0-2. Altrincham Old Boys as Ramsbottom United beat Radcliffe Borough 30. Sam Heathcote scored one of the goals. At our neighbours Trafford, James Dean netted the home goal in a 1-1 draw with Atherton Collieries. After the Colville win, Alty assistant manager Neil Sauville was interviewed after the GAMW with Colville Town, and this can be seen here.